Which car, vehicle, whichever you're using? Desire. Are you sure this is the sustainable model of Desire in the next 3 years? Then why do you wait? So it's not with technology out. We have so many things. He bought this video cam for $800 2 years back, and he knows that it's outdated. He'll get outdated 2 years.
Hence, it's still value for money.
I'm not talking about value for money here. I'm asking, have you bought something thinking that the technology will not change in the next 3 years? No. Value for money is different. Value for money is a different component altogether in the entire project. Right? Why I took that example? Right? Today, what is relevant to us? Right? Tomorrow, it's not relevant. I mean, I don't know if you got this forward. It's a nice one by somebody was forwarding the past and the future of Apple. Right? Did you get? The first one was with Steve Jobs is with iPhone, right? iPod, sorry. Next picture, right? 2008 or 2009 was with iPhone, right? It scrolls down. The next picture is with iPad, and what do you imagine the next one is? iMac. So what they're trying to show is, as we are proceeding into the future, the size of technology is increasing. Because iPod was, nanos and the small. iPhone went to iPad, right? The next picture was Steve Jobs sitting, and it's an Apple Mac, iMac, I think. Right? It's half hall. Right? It's a nice, funny forward what I got. Why should you not buy LED? LED is simple. LED, the concept of LED is the small bulbs which are inside, right? And they fuse off. Not so quickly, but they fuse off. And that too, thank you to the power supply system in our country, we have so many fluctuations, right? And believe me, when a bulb fuses off in that LED TV, you can't replace it. And you have to wait till all bulbs fuse off, throw the TV and buy a new one. That's why you should not buy an LED. Until you have sufficient money in your bank account that you can sustain. You can buy another LED. Right? I'm talking, just giving a funny example. Right? It's a funny example. Acceptability, and last but not the least, is the future. These are the components of your idea. Right? Now, what do I mean by uniqueness? When you're trying to solve a problem, you look at the uniqueness. Alright? I'll give you a stupid example. Please don't get me wrong here. I'm not a psycho. I'll give you a stupid example. After you have a shower, right? What is it you want to do next? You have to dry yourself. Right? How many ways are there to dry yourself? One. Fan. Two. Pardon? Okay, three.
You can take somebody's help.
Four. I agree you. Let's start later.
Let's go to the acceptability part.
Four. Right? But which is the most common accepted way? Right? So when I talk about uniqueness, what I'm talking is to dry yourself. Problem is drying yourself. You can use a towel, you can use a dryer, you can ask somebody else to clean for you. A lot of things, right? You have to look at how unique and how practical is your solution, right? When you correlate that, meaningful, when you look at what meaningful, what I'm talking about is, you need a fan or a dryer. Just make it simple, right? I love this thing, KISS it. You know what KISS stands for? Keep it simple, stupid, right? So let's not complicate. What today's generation or our thought, but we also don't want to complicate. What we keep thinking is we have a cutting edge, beautiful idea, but we forget to ask ourselves, right? If I have a cutting edge idea, if Amit is having that idea, will I buy it from him? Will I invest money on that product, what he's designing? And I'm talking about the same idea he's doing it. We don't do that. We have to keep it as simple as possible. And don't forget the acceptability. And for acceptability, I didn't have a much better example than free hugs. Right? Free hugs. John Man, right? His last name. Man, John Mun, right? You know why free hugs came into picture at all? freehugsfoundation.org. Right? Pardon?
AIDS awareness.
Age
awareness. AIDS awareness.
AIDS awareness? I'm sorry, no. What happened, John once, you can go there and he has a video about it. He was flying back during Christmas time from one place to one place. He was landing in Australia, right, Sydney. So he was landing in Australia, he landed, and he's actually a single person. He doesn't have parents, he's an orphan, right? So, or family. He went to UK to do something in life, to become something, wanted to start something in UK, went there. By the time he came back, he lost everything to Australia, right? And when he came back, he saw his all co-passengers running and hugging people, their families, right? And families coming and hugging them, welcoming them back. He was in tears. Right? I have goosebumps when I think of it. He had tears. And he sat there thinking, I'm missing something in my life. Right? And that's the day. So what happened, he sat there for some time, went into the washroom, took out a cardboard, wrote free hugs, and was standing there. He wanted people to come and hug him because he wanted to feel home. It was his home. He's brought up Australian from Sydney, right? He was missing it so much. Nobody turned up. Nobody turned up. And that's how the movement started. And you know how many hiccups free hugs went through. It was banned in many countries. He was jailed, right? In few countries the racial part came into picture. The religion part came into picture. He overcame everything, and today free hugs is a fantastic movement around the world, right? When you're in the deepest of a shitty situation, you're feeling so tired for the day, go and hug your friend or a loved one and see the difference. It's better than the Red Bull, right? I'm a huge fan of Red Bull, so it's better than the Red Bull, right? It makes a difference. So acceptability, when I call, nothing more a practical example I can quote than free hugs, right? He was on Oprah Winfrey show, and Free Hugs Foundation has the video if you want to look at it. Right? And the future.
Once again, the acceptability part. How does this correlate to ventures?
Okay, that's a good question. So why I quoted this example of free hugs and the ventures. And here I'm not talking about, probably you missed my first line. I'm not talking about, when I defined the idea, you were there. I'm not talking about only a venture. I'm talking about anything in life, right? So when you have an idea, you have to first look at the practicality of it and the ease of use. And finally, the acceptability. You are having a cutting edge technology. Why are people not? I was just reading Times of India, right? Ram Gopal Verma's, this thing was on the right? His next movie is on sex and godmen, right? And if you go read that para, he was saying, his last movie was Run or something. I'm bad at cinema, right? Run or something. He's saying, I did 100% justice to the movie. I don't know why people don't like it. Dude, it's your money. Right? I'm not giving you money to make money. It's your money. You invested, right? You made a movie and it's a flop, and you are blaming people that they don't understand or they don't accept it. You have to do something which is acceptable and which is practical for the other person, not for you. For me, having the best of the gadget is is acceptable. I'll pay 1 lakh rupees for that, right? How many can pay 1 lakh for that? That is acceptable. And the second part, if you look at, is whenever we look at, I'll go into a different discussion. I was wanting to say one thing about keep your solution as simple as possible and make it as practical as possible so that many people will take it. Look at the number of people using it than looking at the amount of money you will be making in 2, 3, 5, 10 years, which is a typical entrepreneur approach. When you hit the number, your money will automatically come in. It's a simple concept when we go back. If you get 95%, you'll get into BITS Pilani. If you get 60%, you'll get into a stupid college. Same concept, right? But it doesn't mean the 60% guy never made it big in life. You know, everybody knows all the top entrepreneurs in the world, right, have all been school dropouts, right? So it's acceptable law, right? For always we have to look at the number of people using it, or how many problems you're solving. For now, how many people you're solving the problem, instead of looking at, okay, I'll solve a problem for this guy. There are people like that. You want to buy a Maybach? It's only for few people. That problem of luxury car is solved by one company only for the segment of people. They're very happy with it. That's it. So you have to be very clear with your vision. And I've talked about future. I saw an interesting book.